Have you ever felt trapped because saying yes felt easier than saying no? Have you ever agreed to something, even when your heart felt heavy, just because you were afraid of losing an opportunity? Sometimes the hardest word to speak is the one that can save us. Before we dive in, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for all your support. At the edge of a quiet village, where narrow paths curved through fields and the air smelled of soil and leaves, lived a young farmer named Anaya. Her home was small, her roof uneven, and her land was not her own. She grew vegetables on a rented plot, waking before sunrise each day to greet the earth with tired hands and steady hope. Anaya was poor, and she knew it. Her clothes were worn thin, and her meals were often simple. But she believed in honest work. She believed that if she kept going, the land would one day answer her effort with kindness. Yet, Anaya had a weakness. She said yes too often. She said yes when neighbors asked for her help, even when her own field waited. She said yes when traders delayed her payment. She said yes when others took advantage of her quiet nature. Each yes seemed harmless, but slowly it drained her strength. One season, the rains arrived late. The soil hardened and her vegetables struggled to grow. At the market, buyers passed her by, choosing fuller baskets from other stalls. Anaya returned home each evening with unsold produce and a deep ache in her chest. One afternoon, beneath a wide old tree near the market road, a lender called out to her. His voice was smooth, his clothes clean, his words filled with promise. He spoke of quick growth, better seeds, and larger harvests. He told her this was her chance to change everything. Others nearby nodded. Some whispered that she would be foolish to refuse. Anaya listened, her heart racing. Hunger pressed against her ribs. Fear whispered that this might be her only way forward. That night, sleep did not come easily. The wind moved across her roof, and doubt moved through her thoughts. Saying yes would bring quick relief. Saying no would mean more waiting, more struggle. Before dawn, Anaya walked to her field. She knelt and pressed her hand into the soil. It was dry, but alive. In that quiet moment, she remembered a simple truth she had learned long ago. The earth cannot be rushed. When the sun rose, Anaya stood with steady breath. At the market, the lender asked for her answer. The crowd waited. Anaya felt fear rise, but she did not turn away from it. She lifted her eyes and spoke softly, yet firmly. No. The word felt heavy, but it felt honest. The lender frowned. Some villagers stared in disbelief. Anaya walked away, her steps unsure, her heart pounding. The days that followed were not easy. Without borrowed money, she worked harder than before. She repaired what she could not replace. She carried water from the river step by step. She ate less, rested less, and doubted herself often. But each morning, she returned to her field. Instead of growing bigger, she grew wiser. She cared deeply for what she already had. She saved seeds from strong plants. She learned when to wait and when to act. And when people asked for more than she could give, she learned to say no again, calmly, without anger, without guilt. At first, others did not understand. Some whispered that she had changed. Some laughed at her small harvest. Anaya did not argue. She simply kept working. Seasons passed. The soil softened. Her vegetables grew healthier. Buyers noticed their freshness and returned to her stall. Her baskets were not the largest, but they were steady. Then came a harsh time. Many who had borrowed heavily could not repay their debts. Fields were lost and worry spread through the village. The promises of quick success faded like dust in the wind. Anaya's field remained. Her harvest was modest, but it was enough. Enough to fix her roof, enough to store grain, enough to sleep without fear tightening her chest. One evening, as the sun lowered over the fields, Anaya stood quietly at the edge of her land. The wind moved gently through the leaves. She felt tired but strong. She understood then that saying no had not taken something from her. It had protected her. By refusing the wrong path, she had stayed on the right one. By choosing patience over desperation, she had allowed her life to grow in its own time. Anaya returned home as night settled over the village. A small lamp glowed in her window. Outside, her field rested, ready for another season, steady, honest, and alive. Sometimes, the word that feels hardest to speak is the one that gives our future back. And sometimes, saying no is the bravest yes we can give ourselves. Comment no if this story spoke to your heart. Thanks for being here.